Once again, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers are favored to secure a Stanley Cup championship for a Canadian city. Numerous hockey enthusiasts in Canada have grown weary of the yearly reminder that Montreal was the last team to claim the trophy after the 1993 season. Each betting platform might present slightly different probabilities, yet the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Oilers are both considered among the top 5 contenders to conclude the upcoming season as the ultimate victor. Other prominent contenders include the Colorado Avalanche, the preferred choice of most betting platforms, and the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Vegas Golden Knights. The subsequent tier of championship hopefuls comprises the Carolina Hurricanes, New Jersey Devils, Boston Bruins, and Tampa Bay Lightning. The previous year's finalists, the Florida Panthers, fall within the 8th to 10th best odds range according to most betting platforms. Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers, leading odds to end national drought. Firstly, let's discuss a couple of mildly surprising evaluations from the odds makers. Last year's record-setting President's Trophy-winning Bruins have slipped behind a few teams. This is understandable due to the retirements of the heart and soul leader Patrice Bergeron and longtime Bruin David Krejci. Tyler Bertuzzi has also departed from the Bruins to join the Leafs. The odds makers still have confidence in what remains on their roster, as only a few teams have surpassed them in the rankings. The Panthers have notably longer odds despite their extended playoff run last year. Although most of their roster will return, they compete in the league's most challenging division, and finalists historically struggle in the subsequent season. The Avalanche clinched the title 2 years ago and still exude exceptional talent. Any lineup featuring Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, and Mikko Rantanen must not be underestimated. While the Golden Knights might lack the same hunger or drive, repeating championships are frequent in recent NHL history. What about the prospects of the Leafs and Oilers? The Toronto Maple Leafs boast a forward group that invokes envy in most NHL teams. The skills of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, and John Tavares have consistently positioned them among the league's most formidable and high-scoring squads. Furthermore, they fortified their forward units by adding Bertuzzi. The prospect of a full season with Matthew Knies is also a source of excitement. Goaltender Ilya Samsonov established himself as a dependable and steady force last season. He returns alongside the emerging Joseph Woll and recently signed Martin Jones. The main issue for the Leafs lies in their defense. It falls considerably short of championship standards. It notably lags behind the defensive lineup of the Knights, or indeed, any other contender. As for the Oilers, they are led by the lethal duo of superstars Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They possess forward depth with the likes of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, and Evander Kane. In recent years, they have strengthened their defense with the emergence of Evan Bouchard and last year's acquisition of Matthias Ekholm. They join incumbent Darnell Nurse to form an above-average defensive unit. The predicament for the Oilers lies in their goaltending. Jack Campbell, previously with the Leafs, and Stuart Skinner failed to instill confidence last year. Their performance will need a significant improvement for the Oilers to contend. Both the Leafs and the Oilers advanced through the first round of the playoffs last year. At that juncture, many fans across Canada, particularly in Toronto and Edmonton, were anticipating a potential Leafs vs. Oilers Stanley Cup final. Should one disregard the old adage that defense and goaltending win championships, perhaps the Leafs and Oilers can embark on prolonged playoff journeys. However, their weaknesses in defense or goaltending make this prospect seem unlikely.